With the Rings of Power coming out on Amazon Prime, I've been going back and reviewing all of the Lord of the Rings movies, and today is Lord of the Rings The Two Towers. And first of all, with any trilogy, this movie has the hardest job in a sense, as it is the connective tissue between the Fellowship of Rings and the Return of the King. And it has to bridge that gap in between both of those movies. And you can tell from the Fellowship of Rings to this movie now how the tone has changed, as the Fellowship of Rings was a lot more hopeful, and now straight away this one's a lot more serious, as we start off with Frodo's dream about Gandalf, and we have Frodo and Sam lost on their way to Mordor, compared to where we have them at the start with the party and then the hopefulness of getting the ring to Mordor. And also in addition having new characters like Eomer, Theoden and also Gollum. And what I think worked a lot at the start of the movie, in the first act in particular, was the two distinct groups, when we had Sam, Frodo and Gollum, and then we had the other group of Aragorn, we had Legolas and we had Gimli. And especially in those two groups, and you can see they had their own crest, as we saw from the end of the last movie, with Sam and Frodo on their way to Mordor and the other group trying to save Merry and Pippin. And why I like it so much is for different reasons. As adding Gollum to that edition really helped, as you can see the toll that the ring took on Gollum and that it's taken on Frodo throughout this movie. And you can also see the uneasiness that Gollum gives Sam, and how Sam's just trying to look out for Frodo and do everything in the best interest of him. And also what Andy Serkis was able to do with Gollum, and how all the staff are able to do to create Gollum at the time, is really great. For the fact that CG characters at the time weren't really like how they are now, in the sense that they had CG characters, but most of the time they were just monsters. They weren't really interacting with the cast and acting in a sense. And to get Gollum to be so believable and look so good for the time as well was a real accomplishment for the time. And also the performance capturing by having Andy Serkis act out and then having them go over what Andy Serkis has done to get the emotions, to get how he would move, and also the voice that he done throughout the movie, just really great. And also, as I said, with the other group of Aragorn, Gimli and Legolas, and I felt like more in this movie you can see the real leadership skills of Aragorn and how he takes control of the situations that he's in. And we also have the return of Gandalf and seeing how he survived in the Fellowship of Rings, coming back now as Gandalf the White, and also having that great scene when he's helping, or saving really, King Theoden, and defeating Saruman in unpossessing King Theoden. And it is quite light in action, however we do get that like great ending of the battle that we have, and it's just a great and grand battle to see. We also have Merry, Pippin and Treebeard as a trio, and overall, and it felt a bit like the story was slowing down a bit when we moved to those characters, also due to the fact that as those three as the story wasn't as entertaining as the others we got. And also Treebeard, when he talks very slow, so it naturally slows down the movie when it's on them. And also, like I said about the Fellowship of the Rings, it applies to the Two Towers as well, with leaving it off on a good area to go on in the next movie, as we leave it with Sauron looking to attack again, and also Frodo and Sam back with Gollum, and Gollum looking like he's going to betray them, leading smoothly into the next movie. But as I said at the start, this having the middle movie in such a grand and massive world is a big task, in the sense that you've got the Fellowship of Rings of everything that you know the journey they're going on, and you got the Return of the King of having to have the satisfying and great ending from what they were setting up at the start. But how do you get it together? And that's what this movie is, just a nice bridge in between, and they were able to do it really well whilst expanding on the characters we already know, introducing new characters as well. So let me know your thoughts on Lord of the Rings The Two Towers in the comments below, and where does it rank amongst your favourite Lord of the Rings movies?